welcome to the Thursday Checkdown. I got to tell you, Rick, this is our 120th episode. If we were a monthly, that'd be 10 years. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank God we're a weekly. I don't know if I could have lasted 10 years doing this. Anyway, week 15, this is playoff week for a lot of teams. So we're hoping we can help you guys get your stuff together. And as always, we want to help you. So we will have a mailbag. If you guys got questions, get them into the chat. We'll answer them later. But first, we always start off with our Pros versus Joes segment. Our Pros versus Joes segment. And this week's pro is none other than our very own JC Money Design. JC, tell everybody about sports affiliation and yourself. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Usually I'm not on this side of the screen. Usually I'm behind the scenes doing everything. But yeah, I'm JC. What's up, everybody? I guess I am one of the CEOs, you would say, of the sports affiliation. The other one would be behind the scenes right now, running the show, Iggy. But yeah, I mean, the sports affiliation, we've been doing this probably for about, 3 years. We'll be coming up on, I believe in March, it'll be 3 years, our official mark of when we started the sports affiliation. But, kind of what we do is we're a platform that allows other people that want to kind of like get into the industry. We're like kind of that stepping stone to help people kind of be seen or learn how to, either write articles or create a show or anything like that. Like, it's just kind of a little area for people to do their own thing. And, if anybody wants to, have their own type of series of articles that is like their style and they don't want to kind of be told how to write, we give them kind of a platform to be seen and kind of be heard. So that's kind of what the sports affiliation is kind of all about. It's all positivity. We try to keep everything positive and clean and fun, and it's just a good environment where people thrive.
You also do the minor sports too, the NBA and the NHL and all those other little things, right?
We've been covering some of the NBA. We got some really, really good writers and podcasters that kind of hit up on all sports. Luckily, we have a little bit of here and that throughout. Even baseball, I know. Sometimes you'll get Coach dabbling on baseball. We'll get it to a point where he's talking about USFL and and when XFL was around, he'd be just randomly talking about that stuff. So, we kind of do a little bit of everything. And if anybody, wants to do stuff, we're here to give people a platform. That's what we're all about. We want to see people either take a next step or, stick around with us and continue to grow. That's what we're all about.
Well, you and there's Ziggy quickly and go on again. And our Joe this week is Jerome Roy. Jerome, tell us a little. Well, there's Jerome?
Right there, boy.
Hey, Jerome, tell us a little bit about you. How long you been playing? What do you do? Other sports? I know you're from that golden, that cold land up north.
Actually, it was a snow day today, so I was in school today at our place right now. So I'm from New Brunswick, Canada. I've been a bad fantasy football player for 5 years and a very bad fantasy player for 10 years. I like the sport a lot, man. I'm still an Eagles fan, even though we're kind of, I know it's not going well right now, but I think we're going to hopefully turn it over against the Raiders, hopefully. Both.
Listen, just so you know, our producer is a Packers fan, so that's why you got the booze.
I don't care. I don't mind. We're good when we know it. But if we lose against the Raiders, a bold prediction: Sirianni's out. That's my prediction.
So I'm gonna let everybody know the Joes are beating the Pros 9-7 right now. So JC, it's up to you to.
Kind of nervous right now going against JC, one of you boys, but that's all right. I'll try to be good here today.
If the two of you go 4-0, go 2-0 each, so you go 4-0 this week, you're still going to be behind Rick and I, who are sitting at 26 right now, you guys are sitting at 16. I don't think you pros and Joes can catch up to the hosts before the season's over. But with that said, a quick description of what we do. I produce a list of the top 12 quarterbacks and tight ends and top 24 running backs and wide receivers using a straight PPR scoring system, 10th of a point per yard, no bonuses, no first down bonuses, 6 points per touchdown, 4 points for quarterback touchdowns. And if a player is on that list, what these guys are saying, if they choose that player, they're saying they won't be on that list for the next week. And if they choose a player that's off the list for a sleeper, they're saying they will be in the top 12 or 24 for the following week. Now, that said, let's start with our pro, JC. Who's your sleeper for this week?
All right. So we're going sleepers first, not busts?
We always go sleepers first.
All right. Well, then we're gonna do it like this. I'm going Jackson Dart. Let me just get into it. I guess I had a little different way around, but I'm going Jackson Dart. I don't know why Iggy's throwing the sounds like that around against the Commanders.
Iggy knows that I chose Jackson Dart too.
Top 12. So there is that. You got to think about that. Let me just get some of these stats real quick. Commanders have allowed 8 of the top 12 quarterbacks in the 13 weeks that they've played. Geno Smith, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, and J.J. McCarthy, one of the worst quarterbacks ever to play for Minnesota. What do you think about that, Greg?
I think he's better than Max Brosmer.
He's not better than barely. I mean, let's see. Last week, you could also say that Jalen Hurts is pretty close to Max Brosmer stats, so there's also that.
JJ finished top 12 last week, just so you know.
That's what I'm saying. So why can't Jackson Dart finish top 12? Because they're playing the same team, the Commanders, and it's also the Commanders are an away team, just like they were last week. So let's also talk about this. So Commanders are also 29th ranked defense. Jackson Dart, in the 8 games that he started, he's had 1 game with less than 2 total touchdowns, 2 games with an interception, 3 games under 50 rushing yards, 2 games without a rushing touchdown, 5 top 12 finishes, and 0 home games without a top 12 finish. So these statistics right here tell me he's going to finish in the top 12. Yeah. That's what I got.
That's it? All right. Well, that's good because I also chose Dart. I'll get into my reasons later. First, let's go to Jerome. Who do you have for a sleeper?
Oh, it's might be my only time here, so I'm going to go big or go home. So I'm going to go with I don't think Kamara's playing, so I'm going to go with Devin Neal. I think he's involved in the passing game. He's involved in the running game, and he was involved in the red zone. And it's the Tyler show now, and he needs to throw the ball. He doesn't have a lot of options. And, I mean, we all know the Panthers. So the Panthers aren't that good. They're better on the run than they were a few years ago, but still, I think Neal's going to be a monster in that game. Like I said, involved in the running game, passing game. I think he's going to be all around. I think it's going to be the Neal show. I think he's going for next year's running back one of the Saints. So I think Kamara's done after this year with them. So I'm pretty confident going with Neal in this one. So I think it's going to be one for the Joes again. So,
all right, over to Rick. Who do you have, Rick?
Well, I'm going to make Greg happy and probably, I guess, contradict JC there. I went with J.C. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings.
No, you did not. No, you did not. You did not. Because there is no J.C. McCarthy.
And I'm trying to will this into the reality because I have to start him in a rookie and first-year player league where I'm in the playoffs. So I'm willing this to happen. Last week, though, J.J. McCarthy had 3 touchdowns, didn't have an interception. Okay, it was against the staggering Washington Commanders. But this week, he goes against the Dallas Cowboys. And while defensively the Cowboys seem to have been improving a bit, they're still the worst team against quarterbacks by a good deal, giving up 27 fantasy points a game to the position. And I think the Vikes are going to need to throw the ball a lot. So with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, even Jalen Naylor as wide receivers, I think I'm going to make a Michigan fan happy and go with the former Wolverine.
Well, JJ is a great pick. He also, TJ Hawkinson, actually practiced today. So that's a good thing, too. So that's even more in his arsenal if he can play. Personally, and it's my turn, Iggy. Personally, I agreed with JC this week. I'm going with Jackson Dart as well. Projections have Jackson Dart with 20 for 30 for 250 yards and a touchdown with 0 interceptions. And he's always complimented by his run game. They're saying 5 for 30 with a rushing touchdown, so 2 total touchdowns. I think he tops those numbers against that defense, to be honest. I really do. Washington is vulnerable to all quarterbacks. It doesn't matter who play. JC and I could go out and play quarterback against that Redskins defense. Well, maybe not me, but you get my point. Multiple quarterbacks have cleared 260 passing yards and or 3 TDs this year. Multiple. So I love the Jackson Dart pick, JC. I'm with you there. But now it's time for you to tell us who your bust is, JC. That's what you wanted to start with anyway.
I did.
So
Before we do that, can I just throw out a deep sleeper for quarterback then? Same
Sure.
game, Marcus Mariota. I'm riding the train with Marcus Mariota. Same game. I think this is going to be, I don't know, I was thinking about it earlier. I think this is going to be a bonanza game. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think Daniels has been ruled out already.
Two of
I
the
think
worst.
Daniels has already been ruled out, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, last week, obviously they were playing against Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is a lot tougher than everybody thinks they are. Their secondary is a little weak, but Mariota only got a couple of tries here and there. But I think that Mariota, he's QB 29, I think something like that. He's probably available out there, maybe even in 2 QB leagues. I doubt it, but if he's out there, yeah, he's somebody you can start, or if he's just somebody on your bench and you're kind of like, I just think in this situation, he could be somebody that you could throw out there and be confident to at least, finish in the top 14. I think that you're okay with that. All right. So my bus, what was that?
Good addition.
My bus this week. So I think I look at these guys and I think that these 2 players swap spots in the charts this week so Justin Herbert is going to be my bust this week. He's kind of been bad the last 4 weeks that he's played. But here's one thing, right? They've already played against the Chiefs this year. It was week 1, and Justin Herbert had probably one of his best games. Chiefs were a little bit banged up at that time. Also, you got to think about Herbert's offensive line was actually healthy. Now they're super banged up. One thing I want to say here is Kansas City Chiefs have only allowed 4 quarterbacks this year to finish in the top 12. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Herbert, which was week 1, which I said. So technically, if he's one of my busts, there's only 3 outside of him that have. Kansas City hasn't allowed a top 12 quarterback at home at all this year. There's another good stat that I love. Herbert's dealing with his left hand injury, as we all know. And last week, right, he was having issues with holding onto the ball. He had 2 fumbles, only one lost fumble, and also an interception. I think he was 136 passing yards, less 46% passer rating. Or passing percentage. Sorry. That's something I'm really worried about. If he can't hold onto the ball, we did see him scrambling a lot last week, which kind of could help him out. But if he can't run and there's issues, we already know that Keenan Allen's resting. Obviously, I'm sure it's for him being a veteran. But if he's a little bit banged up, you're going to have those issues. Yeah, he hasn't had a top 12 finish since week 9. I'm a little bit worried about Herbert this week.
I like the call. I do like the call because he wasn't going downfield at all with that hand. So, Jerome, who do you have?
Just a little shout out like JC did. Another sleeper I had, I was debating. It was Luther Burden or Devin Neal. But I was debating, but I know Cleveland and so on. But it was either Luther Burden or Devin Neal. But I went with Devin Neal, but Luda Burden was my close second choice.
I like that.
I think who's going to bust this week, and there's a lot of hype on him because of how the season started. It's Igbuka. I think he's Mike Evans coming back. Bucky Irvins is there also again, and the offense isn't going that well with the Bucks right now. So it has to be. I don't think he's going to be one of the more reliable option there. I think Mike Evans going to get his role again. And I know Kate Hutton's probably not there either, but there's too many mouths to feed, I think, and I don't think Igbuka's going to have a great week this week. I think he's going to be one of the busts of this week. So
I love that call because Igbuka is the wide receiver 47 since week 6. He
was very good at first, and there's a lot of hype on him. I think we still believe the hype. He was a rookie coming in. Godwin was a hurt, and he got a lot of touches, and he was amazing. But he's still, I think, in too many playoffs pictures for people hoping to get a good game from him. But with everybody there again, and again, Rashad White's still there, Bucky Irving is there, and they need to win. So I don't think they're gonna. Baker Mayfield's not gonna see Igbuka first. I think he's gonna go Mike Evans and stuff like that. So,
all right, Rick, who do you have?
Well, I'm going to will in another player that I'm going in a playoff game against. This time I'm willing against James Cook, who will bomb against the NFL's toughest run defense in the New England Patriots. Last time against the same Patriots, he was 15 carries for 49 yards. I kind of expect a quarterback shootout instead with Josh Allen and Drake May. So James Cook's my bust of the week.
Okay, my turn. I went with the wide receiver that lost his quarterback. Now, I'm actually hoping the replacement quarterback is Phillip Rivers and that he succeeds, but they're going to St. Louis. And if it's the kid, we saw Seattle. If it's a kid, we saw what that Seattle defense at home can do to a rookie quarterback. They just killed Brosmore. They did. They just destroyed him. So Michael Pittman, he's currently the wide receiver 9. Seahawks secondary is tough. I mean, everybody does that. They rank 11th in passing yards allowed total, but they're just – they're giving up 11 PPR points on 43 receiving yards and 5 to 6 catches is what's projected for this guy. So I do think the signing of Rivers helps him quite a bit because Rivers will get rid of the ball quick. He'll diagnose things quickly. But he won't be able – I don't think a 44-year-old quarterback is going to be able to throw the ball down the field. So I don't think we're going to see any long passes here. So I think Rivers, because of the declining arm strength, I just think he's the one. So I want to thank JC and Jerome. And if you guys want to stick around, that's fine. We'll call you back when we get past the news. But for now, it's time to tell people.
I'm going to...
So, good news, no buys this week. Bad news, some injuries that we need to worry about. So let's get into them. Daniel Jones, we mentioned him already. He's out for the season with an Achilles injury. I guess the bigger question now is how much of 2026 is he going to be lost for as well? His backup is Riley Leonard, rookie quarterback from Notre Dame. He was okay at 18 for 29 and 145 yards and an interception, but he's sustained a knee injury. So if he can't play, Brett Ripien is the replacement there. And then we already mentioned that 44-year-old Phillip Rivers was signed to the practice squad, and Greg wants him to play. So he hasn't played since 2020. So I don't know if that's if what all he's going to be able to bring into the game. We know he can throw. Whether he's got any movement at all, who knows? Tyrod Taylor, the New York Jets quarterback, left the last game with a groin injury. He was replaced by Brady Cook, who was, again, okay with 14 for 33 and an interception in his NFL debut. It does look like Cook is going to be the starter against Jacksonville. Jaden Daniels, the Washington Commanders quarterback, we already mentioned him, I believe, and he left the game with an elbow injury. The coach said he could have returned. I actually don't think so. I think it's a Martin Mariota start next week. Geno Smith, he sustained a shoulder injury. Again, the coach was optimistic. Pete Carroll's always optimistic. He said he didn't think it's that serious. Kenny Pickett replaced him, and actually, of all the replacement quarterbacks this past week, he looked probably the best, 8 for 11 with a touchdown. And I know if I'm a Raider fan, I'm going to be hoping that Pickett's your quarterback. And I believe Geno Smith has already been declared out. Devin Achane, the Miami Dolphin running back, sustained a rib injury. Coach McDaniel said he could have gone back into the game if needed. I know Rotoballer has been projecting that Achane may require rest this week. In his stead, backup Jalen Wright had a big game with 107 yards and a touchdown. He would be the primary back, but I think what I understand is Achane is expected to play. Rookie Ollie Gordon would be backing up Wright if Achane's out. CeeDee Lamb suffered a concussion, was listed as questionable. He will have a couple of extra days to be able to recover, and there's hopeful that he's going to start. If he's out, George Pickens obviously becomes the number one receiver with the Cowboys. And Ryan Flournoy came out of nowhere with a 115 yards and a touchdown. He was a popular free agent pickup this week.
Wait a minute. Before you go further, I wanted to ask you, isn't George Pickens already the number one wide receiver in Dallas? Seems like he's had a better year than Lamb has.
CeeDee Lamb is definitely and George Pickens last game, I think he had like 20 yards or 30 yards. He didn't have
one game, but if you look at his year to date, I think he's outdone Lamb.
I would still.
I haven't looked. I'm estimating that, but I think so.
Sure. So getting back to the injuries, T. Higgins, he had concussion symptoms after the game, and so they placed him in the protocol after the game. If he is unable to play while Jamar Chase is back, but Andre Ishavas and Mitchell Tinsley and Charlie Jones would be the Bengal receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr., he had a heel injury. I don't have an update. Michael Wilson has been awesome last couple of weeks while Harrison was out with appendicitis. So I would expect him to be also your number one receiver in Arizona this week.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this, but I think Wilson got 15 targets again in this last game with Harrison out. So in the games where Harrison has missed, I know he got 18 in the first one, 15 in the second one, and he got between 12 and 15 in this third one without Harrison. You got to, even against Houston, they're playing Houston this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Okay, even against Houston, you're getting 15 targets. You got to play that guy.
Yeah.
Because 10 catches is still 10 points.
Yeah. Although the Texans have two great cornerbacks, and then they also have Jalen Petre. Their defense is.
They got a good pass rush too.
Yeah. So last player, Zach Ertz, Washington Commander tight end, suffered a torn ACL. He's out rest of the season. I know that Ben Sinnott came back from his injury filled last year and into this year. I think he is going to be more of a dynasty target. But David Njoku had a knee injury, but Harold Fannin is the Browns, top tight end. T.J. Watt popped onto the IDP injury list with a lung injury where he was hospitalized. Jalen Walker has a quad injury, but he looks like he will be able to play. Couple of line injuries to keep aware of. Braden Smith, Indianapolis Colt offensive tackle, had a concussion. Andrus Peat, the Steelers offensive tackle, also had a concussion. Paris Johnson, the Arizona Cardinal offensive tackle, has a knee problem. And that pretty much does it for the injury report. I think we're getting kind of close to Tipp's arrival. I think I see him in the green room.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes. We'll get him up in a minute. I wanted to ask you, with the injury to Daniel Jones and the injury to the tackle for that team, are we expecting Phillip Rivers to do anything if he starts? And what kind of game are you expecting from Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor will probably be the primary focus on that offense. Because I think it's Rypien's going to be starting. I can't just see Phillip Rivers getting into the game this week. He did play for the Colts in the past, but he hasn't played in so long.
5 years.
I think their whole offense and thus the defensive coordinator is going to be, focusing all the attention on Jonathan Taylor.
All right. Well, then it's time for, even though it's a little early, if Tipp's already in the green room, it's time for 2AI or not 2AI. Okay, now Tipp's here. Did the other guys stick around or did they run?
I see
Are
Jerome.
they in the green room?
And I see Jerome in the house.
Jerome is in the house. So Jerome will be joining us. We won't track him because we don't really track that, but we're tracking Tipp, the two AIs, Rick and I, on our pick. But Jerome, we do want you to take part in this. So basically what we do is we have a tight end, a wide receiver, and a running back, and you basically have to rank them. Oh, JC is here too. Cool. You have to rank them for this week only. So, Tipp, it's all yours now, baby.
Yeah, so before we get to the players, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about our yearly stats or our yearly rankings amongst the AIs and the other ones. What's wrong, Rick? What's going on?
Let's just go right
we got to get
this
into it. We got to get into it because my reign
never
on the
look
top,
back. Always look forward.
My reign on the top was short like leprechaun. So, but I will say right now, Sir Whittington and myself, we are still tied at 34. Krog, on the other hand, Krog's season was done about 3 weeks ago, but he's at 48 at points. And remember, the more points you get, that's not good. You don't want more points. You want the less points. So Sir Whittington and I are tied at the 34. Greg and Rick, though, are tied at 36, so they're not far behind. They can actually still win this bad boy. So they're not far behind at all, Rick. So look, I know you said don't look behind you, but yeah, keep looking forward, bro, because you're right there.
But
man.
In fairness, I took 2 weeks off. I was in Japan
right.
for 2
Forget
weeks,
you were in Japan in Shibuya, right?
I was out a week, so that factor.
But we're sticking with our low score. We're sticking with our low score.
We're still gonna stick with it, and these are the three players that we're gonna stick with this week. It's George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. It's Keyshawn Boutte. You know I'm a booty guy. Look, I like making the booty call. Keyshawn Boutte of the New England Patriots, and then we also have Jordan Mason. We had to put a Minnesota Viking on there for JC because they don't have much to root for these days. So
Iggy.
So we're gonna put them on there. So we put Jordan Mason on there as well, guys. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna start and I'm gonna read off what Sir Whittington said, or summarize what Sir Whittington said, and he talked a little bit about George Kittle being the number one option here because of his reliability, because of the way that Brock Purdy's they're gonna utilize him in the passing game. I have a different theory, but they have him as number one. Number two, they have Jordan Mason. And the reason I have Jordan Mason is because of the touchdown potential that he can get on this team. You're dealing with a limited Aaron Jones right now. Aaron Jones has been utilized in the red zone, but they say right here, he's stuck in a committee, and some would say it's a 3-man committee with Smith over there as well. But I think it's more of a 2-guy committee, and so does Sir Whittington. So he has Jordan Mason at number 2. Number 3, he has Keyshawn Butte. And he says, look, yeah, he has a high ADOT. You go and look at his ADOT. He's up there as far as wide receivers go. But what the issue is the volume. The volume is not there. He has had some weeks where he's gotten in the end zone, but also take a look at his volume. So that's how he has it ranked. Krog, on the other hand, again, remember, Krog's way out of it, been out of it for 3 weeks. But Krog has it George Kittle as well. I think George Kittle might be a pick for all of us. I'll be surprised if he's not. But George Kittle for that, he said 80%, 87% route rate, 22% target share. That's all you need to know with George Kittle. And the high touchdown upside that he provides. He's always on the field. So Keyshawn Butte, they said, is a boom bust flex option, but he feels like this is going to be one of those shootouts. And somebody just said it here on there also. They feel like it's going to be a shootout as well, other than a more grinded out type of game. It should be fun to see. I got a little theory on that as well. And then Jordan Mason rounds off with Krog. He says he's just too boom or bust, too touchdown dependent, doesn't want to rely on it. As far as the Dallas Cowboys have been better against the run as of late. So they feel like he might be one of those guys. He might be forgotten about. As for myself, I have George Kittle number 1. Again, look, the last 2 games the Titans have played against tight ends, they've given up 2 touchdowns. I feel like George Kittle could be possibly sitting down at the end of this game because they're going to be up so high. But one of the reasons why they're up is because of George Kittle. I feel like he gets the points, he gets the yardage, he stays on the field. And then when they're ready to take him out, when they're up by like 20, 30 points, they can do that. But he already got you those points. So Jordan Mason rounds out my number 2. And again, the Cowboys have been playing tougher against the run here as of late. But you got to understand that J.J. McCarthy does not want to get into a shootout with Dak Prescott. This is not a shootout situation. This is a situation where he wants to keep that offense on the field. They're still playing for pride, and J.J. McCarthy still has something to play for. So they're going to run the ball a lot. Last week, they ran the ball 34 times. 34 times they ran the ball. I look for them to run the ball again, meaning that Jordan Mason's going to get some run this week. So I got Jordan Mason number 2. My number 3 is Keyshawn Butte. And look, I think that it's going to be about the 4th quarter. We're going to look up at the stat sheet. You're going to look at Keyshawn Butte, and you're going to be like, why does he only have 1 target? Why did I play this guy who only has 1 target on my team in the playoffs? And it's just going to be one of those games where he gets left out, because I think that a lot of people think that, yes, they're going to try to shoot out, make this a high scoring game. I think that they're going to muck it up. I think you got Mike Vrabel, who's a tough, hard-nosed, no-nonsense, wants to grind out the game. I think that you have that. And I think that you have a guy in Josh Allen, and you also have a guy in McDermott who wants to grind out this game as well. So I think it turns into a grinder, man. And then not only that, Keyshawn Butte gets forgotten about, because they do have other pass catchers there as well. So that's my choice for Keyshawn Butte being number 3.
Sounds good. Okay, JC, you're next. Who do you got?
I mean, I'm probably gonna be going Kittle. I mean, he's gonna be the number 1 guy for sure. Kittle's been absolutely elite. Besides when I think there was that one game when he came back, he was kind of a decoy that one game, but he's been pretty much elite all year. I do like what you guys are saying about Jordan Mason. The one thing I love about him is he is like that power runner. He's just going to run, and he's going to either fall forward. He's not going to get you negative yards. That's the one thing I love about him. And he has a really big, he wants to get into the end zone. And when you're talking about Aaron Jones, he's more of the pass catcher, I think, of the two. You're going to see him catch the ball, especially if Kevin O'Connell does kind of what he did last week, where you see JJ McCarthy just doing these short passes, and majority of the time either going to his first or second read, trying to stay away from being in that backfield for too long. I think you will see, Aaron Jones maybe get involved, but I think it was a lot more of the tight ends that we saw. So you will more likely than at that point, you'll see a lot of Mason used instead of, I think, Jones. I think Butte is kind of like your hit or miss kind of a guy. He's going to have some of these big games, right? But in this game, it could be a shootout though. We tend to see that with Bills and Patriots, and it is in New England. We could see a shootout, but and that's why you said, Rick, you said your guy Cook was your bust, right? So I could see definitely that being correct. So yes, there's the potential for Butte, but I just think there's so many mouths kind of. We've seen, New England kind of have that, right? There's just kind of so many mouths to feed that it could be this guy, or this guy, right? It could be Hunter Henry's week.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of never know. So I think that's the right order.
All right, Jerome, your turn, buddy.
I think the easy pick is Kittle. I think it's an easy choice. I mean, he's one of the best tight end to play ever at all, actually. So I think it's going to go to be easy number one. Number two, I'm going to go Butte instead of Jordan Mason. I think McDermott's going to play hard on Diggs. I don't think he wants a revenge game from Diggs. So I think Butte is going to see more ball than we think, and he's going to be one of the main targets. I could go even 80 and 1 touchdown.
Okay.
But they don't want to see Diggs celebrate. They want to prove to everybody that they did the right choice by letting Diggs go. So I think Diggs is going to be a non-factor in this game compared to Butte. And number 3 is going to be Jordan Mason. I think every week we hope and think that Mason is going to overtake the number 1 running back over Aaron Jones. And every week we're sort of disappointed because he's so much TD relevant. If he doesn't run, like he said, he's a power runner. Doesn't catch the ball a lot, so I think Jordan Mason is my number 3 for this week. So,
okay, over to Rick.
No surprise, going with George Kittle. I think there's a kind of a gap about the size of the entire United States between Kittle and the other 2 guys. Kittle going against the Tennessee Titans. Well, the Titans aren't that bad against tight ends. They're about the 20th team against tight ends, averaging about 52 yards and 7.8 fantasy points per game. So that part's okay, but Kittle's last 6 games, skipping last week's bye, 18.9 points, 10.9 points, 32.4 points, 30.7 points, 19.8, 14. Give me that. That's what I want. So now the other 2 guys, I was struggling going back and forth because I do think it's going to be a passing battle. So I think that Butte has about as much chance of any of their wide receivers of getting a couple of big gains. But I went with Mason as my number 2. I do worry he might be game scripted out if all of a sudden Minnesota needs to pass a lot to stay with the Cowboys. If that happens, then I think that it's going to be a Aaron Jones game. I still think that if I'm going to look at the wide receivers and Hunter Henry, I think Butte would probably be my 3rd choice.
Okay, my turn. And when I looked at this, when we choose these players, they have to be within 10 points of each other year-to-date scoring. Kittle is the lowest scoring of the 3. He scored 106.3, but he also has the easiest matchup with Tennessee. So I went with Kittle as well. I just thought that he's consistent and he's most likely to have a 2 touchdown game of any of them. So with that, you get the floor and you get the potential ceiling. And again, facing the Titans certainly helps. Now, I'd feel a lot better about Jordan Mason if he was being used in the passing game, which he's not, unfortunately. But, he's only had 1 target in his last 4 games combined. Okay. That's not good. Okay. So Dallas has gotten much better against the run than they were earlier in the year. But Aaron Jones has been missing practice or been limited in practice because of a shoulder injury. So you got to figure Mason's going to get a little bit extra play there. And he's going to be the primary carrier. So he's going to be my second pick because you just don't know what to expect from the booty call. And Tipp had every opportunity to make a booty call this week. We even talked about it in Twitter, X. I thought sure he would make a booty call, and he did.
No
but he's
booty
also
call
my
this week.
third. Yeah, he's also my third, just because he's too inconsistent in his targets. Okay, his target share fluctuates so much. He could get 8, he could get 2. We just don't know what he's going to get. So for me, I just go with the floor of Mason over the potential ceiling of Boutte. So again, it's tight end, running back, and then wide receiver for me. So we'll be back to report how it is thus far this year. Tipp already reported on it. Now, what is it you usually say about Grok or Krog? Sorry,
Prague.
they got some parts from Russia.
Oh yeah, no,
He's
he's got his. So I don't know. About a month ago, they had an AI robot that was showcasing in Russia, and I don't know if you can go back and find that video. It was all over the place. That robot was struggle. It was on the struggle bus. Let's just say that. And Krog has got some parts from that same Russian manufacturer. That's probably one of the reasons why he's so far behind.
Yeah, he's behind everybody. So, in fairness, like I say, AIT, the 2 AITs, we don't add Tipp to this. The 2 AITs have 62 points, and the host. Now that we were gone three of the weeks, 2 for me and 1 for Rick, but we had replacement hosts. We counted what they did in this total. We're at 60, so we're 2 points ahead of the AIT at this point, but that's close. That's really close. So we're hoping to pull ahead this week even further. And we want to thank Krog for what he's doing because he's allowed us to be ahead. That said, Iggy, it's time for the mailbag segment. And if Jerome and JC want to stick around and help our viewers, we're gonna check in the chat first. Anything in the chat gets precedence. I'd love to say, give us a super chat and we'll move it to the front. But we're not asking for money. We just want your questions. So, Iggy, take us to the mailbag.
So, yeah, we do have a question in the chat, Greg.
Well, what's up, Greg? These guys are up. Okay, we're all having a good one. How do you think Michael Wilson does against Houston? I think that's an excellent question. We're going to the whole panel. Houston hasn't given up, as I said earlier, a top 12 performance to any quarterback this year, and they played some good quarterbacks, okay? Is he worth a flex spot? Also, Mike Evans might be playing tonight. Mike Evans is playing tonight. I got Rotoballer app, which I loaded when I was on the Rotoballer chat on Sunday. It's a great tool. Go ahead and download it from rotoballer.com. Tipp actually runs that chat. And so it informed me that Mike Evans is indeed active tonight. Now, I expect him to be on a snap count and only to be used in certain situations, but mainly when they need to throw the ball, he's going to be on the field. But I also think Mike Wilson is going to be featured because I don't think you're going to see, what's his name? Marvin Harrison Jr. this week. So if he gets 15 targets, I don't care how good Houston is, he's going to catch 8 to 12 passes. It's 8 to 12 points in a PPR plus whatever yards he gets. So I don't think Wilson's going to be great, but I do think he's going to get a lot more chances than Evans this week. I want to see Evans play 1 week. So for me, it's Michael Wilson. Let's go to you, Rick, and then we'll hit JC and Jerome.
Yeah, for all the same reasons, I do think Evans is going to be primarily used as they get into the red zone. He's a big target. And but Baker Mayfield has really needed him to come back. Egbuka has been kind of struggling the last couple of weeks, and I know that they're going to be probably using a lot of running game against the Atlanta Falcons, but I think they'll look to Evans for at least one end zone shot. But I would still
go. So who are you starting?
Oh, I would still start Mike Wilson.
All right, JC.
Even against the Texans. And
I was just looking. Marvin Harrison missed another day of practice, so it's Thursday. If he misses Friday, I'm gonna be a little bit worried since he's already missed a couple. Been out. You're right. Wilson, I think he's kind of solidified himself a spot in this offense right now. Brissett loves him. So if he's going to continue to go to him, I mean, obviously we know Harrison, when he's in, he's been pretty damn good, and it's kind of affected Wilson. But if I think I'm starting Wilson. I agree, here with Rick. I think that Mike Evans is going to be a slow start. He's going to be probably out there to be a decoy. I think Egbuka does well tonight. I think he ended up doing that because we kind of saw him kind of be that well when Mike Evans was there. So, I don't know. I think that Egbuka might get a little bit of play. So my call here is I think it's Wilson. I think Harrison's
okay. I'm still benching Egbuka, but I just don't trust the guy's 47th wide receiver since week 6. Jerome, what do you got?
I got Wilson also. I mean, Call of Duty fanboy is not there anymore. Brissett likes him, so I mean, he aims for him a lot. McBride's going to get probably get a lot of defensive plays on him too in the red zone. So I think Wilson's going to be open also. So I'm going Wilson also. But again, I've been losing a lot of fantasy games, so maybe not go with Wilson, but I would go with Wilson anyways.
Need him for the Scott
All
Fish
right,
Bowl.
Wes.
Scott Fish Bowl.
Hope we helped you, Wes. I really do. Do we have any other questions in the chat?
That was the only
Not
question.
yet? Okay. All right. From Ryan Cecil, Deebo Samuel or Christian Watson at flex for week 15. Let's go the opposite way. Jerome, you get to go first.
It's Watson all the way. I think we all slept on him. I have him in a few fantasy pools that I sell on my bench every week, thinking that he's not going to be the same guy he used to be. And he's, I think he's there. He's getting targets. He's getting touchdowns. So I'm going with also Mariota's there. But I think anyway, my play would be for sure Watson.
All right, JC, you agree?
He's been like that. It's almost his whole career. When he's playing, he's like elite, and when he's otherwise, he's out. So I'm gonna stick with him too. Packers are looking to go hard.
Rick?
I know where Greg might go with this. He's saying, gee, but he's going up against a tough Denver passing defense. And yes, Surtain and Moss are really good cornerbacks, although Samuel has to face a pretty tough cornerback himself in Paulson Adebo. I would still go with the hotter hand, and Watson has 4 for 89 and 2 touchdowns and 10 for 80 and 1 touchdown against the Bears and the Lions. I think that, Watson will still continue the string.
Well, I said it's clear that Deebo Samuel has the much easier matchup this week than Christian Watson. But that said,
If he gets
Watson
return, what
has
about
been
if he gets return?
extremely efficient. Pardon?
So if you get return yards, I think Debo's going to probably be the guy. If you get return yards.
Well, yeah. Watson has been extremely efficient with the opportunities that he's gotten in recent weeks. He scored 5 times in the last 4 weeks, including 2 scores in 2 of those games. So, quarterback gets 2. And, sometimes he doesn't get targets. Last week he had the lowest targets of those 4 games, but he turned 4 targets into 4 catches for 89 yards and 2 TDs. It just doesn't get more efficient than that. And as JC just said, Samuel is getting a good number of targets, and maybe he'll get a few more, but he's also getting runs, carries. But the big thing Samuel has is he's returning kickoffs. So if you do get yard bonus for kickoff returns, then maybe you go with Samuel over Watson. But other than that, I'm going Watson over Samuel as well. So, and every scoring system's different, so you got to temper your thoughts with that. David Lund, PPR. I think you guys are going to love this. This time we're going JC, Jerome, Rick, and then me. Emeka Egbuka or Juwan Jennings.
Ooh.
Now, I do that for Egbuka on purpose because I think he went to that school down south. And you know me, as a Michigan fan, I hate Ohio State. So let's go with you, JC.
All right, so I think I'm going to go Juwan here. Jennings has been somebody that's kind of been consistent. He's been somebody that I've in a couple of leagues I've actually been able to start him in my flex almost every week. He's been very efficient. Who else is really there? They had to get rid of Shaheed. It's Olave, him, and who else? Who's the third guy that they're like kind of throwing to right now? And it's Tyler Shook, right? So I think I'm going to be leaning with Jennings, man. He's just been so great.
All right, how about you, Jerome?
Can we go in the waiver wire?
I was thinking.
Yeah, we could, but we don't know what they have.
Okay, so I'm going to contradict myself because I went Egbuka as a bus, but I think between the two of them, I would go Egbuka, hoping that he gets some targets. I think he would be my choice between the two.
All right, so this is the first question we've gotten tonight where we haven't all agreed, and usually we have a lot more disagreement on the show. Rick, who do you got? Break the tie.
Going back to Jennings, first of all, he's going against Tennessee, right? They give up a ton of points to the wide receiver. Plus, Juwan Jennings has been one of the best red zone wide receivers in the NFL since week 9. Yeah, I'm going that route.
Egbuka's early season promise has faded into a stunning wide receiver 47 since week 6, as I told you. Drops, low efficiency, despite Tampa's healthier offense. Tampa has had a better offense than San Francisco. But sorry, I just don't like Egbuka at all. I'm with you guys with Jennings, so it's 3-1 there. Plus, we have Brock Purdy back this week. I think that only helps Juwan Jennings, so I'm going Jennings as well this week. And it will be hard. Now, I know a lot of analysts are saying the return of Mike Evans takes the pressure off Egbuka and will put him on lesser DBs so that he should be more efficient in the red zone. I got to see it first. I just have to see it. So I'm going Jennings too. From Jay, is there anything in the chat? Has anything popped in?
No.
Yeah.
I guess
right.
I was mistaken. I was thinking of Juwan Johnson, not Juwan.
Yeah.
And,
I was having the Saints discussion.
Listen, GG, you're the CEO. I didn't want to say nothing.
I'd rather be.
I'm just a Joe. I'm just a Joe, but there's no way Jennings was playing with the Saints this week. But again, I'm just a Joe. So I'm not.
I was like, hold on, that's not.
Does that change it? Does that change your answer?
I'm looking at Jennings' stats, and man, I'm looking. Look, he's been very consistent since week 9. I mean, he's given you about 14.
I love Iggy.
14 points over the last couple of weeks. I mean, I think it's a safe flex play. I mean, if you want to go with upside, maybe you can play Igbuka. I mean, only if you're thinking, hey, maybe Evans is just going to be that guy. But I think
I just think it's going to be CMC and George Kittle. So that's why I'm not going Jennings right now. So
that's smart too.
Well, but CMC is going to get a lot of targets. Kittle will get targets too, but Purdy usually throws 30 times a game. You're going to get 8 targets for Jennings, and I think that's enough to beat Igbuka. He'll get 8 targets too. He just hasn't done anything with them for the last 8 weeks. So we'll see. Wow. Anyway, from Jamie Muscat.
I think he's got touchdowns in 4 of the last 5 games. So even though he's not getting a lot.
You're talking about Jennings, right?
Yeah.
Or a guy playing for the thing
hasn't scored forever.
Yeah.
All right. Got a couple more questions from Jamie Muscat. Playoffs have arrived. Yes, they have. Yes. I love this question. Ladd McConkey at KC. That's right. Playoffs. Ladd McConkey at KC or Stephon Diggs at home against the Bills. Please help. And this time we're going to Rick first, then me, and then Jerome, and then Jay.
Again,
so
I think
Rick,
it's going to be
who do you got?
I'm going with Diggs. I think it's going to be a passing battle, and I think Stephon Diggs is Drake May's favorite wide receiver. I'm also a little concerned. Of course, McConkey's quarterback has a broken bone in his non-throwing hand, and it always seems like it's been a crapshoot which Charger receiver is going to be getting the most work. Is it Keenan Allen? Is it Johnson? Is it McConkey? I know Gadsden's been kind of tailed off, but there was a period when Gadsden was their number 1 receiver. So I'm going with Diggs.
All right. Typically, I would have said McConkey due to his more consistent usage. All right. Diggs is up and down in usage. But last week showed that Herbert, a tough guy, but after undergoing that surgery and getting a plate and pins put into the left hand, he didn't go under center a whole lot, if at all. He would not go under center. That affects the timing. All right. So I think he showed no desire or ability to throw deep last week. His accuracy and timing were impacted. So I agree with Rick. It's got to be Diggs for me this week. How about you, Jerome?
I like GC's choice of QB bust being Justin Herbert, so I'm going to go with Diggs also. I think it's going to be a running game also. Hampton is back. Community Vidal is there also. I think, like you guys said, he doesn't want to throw far right now, so it's going to be run heavy, I think. And again, I like Butte as one of my 3 choices that I have, so I'm going to go also with Diggs also because I agree with all you guys. I think it's going to be a really good passing game. Whitney May and Josh Allen, I think it's going to be a hell of a game.
You're making it unanimous, JC?
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to lean Ladd really hard, but I can't get there just because of Herbert, man. It's going to be hard. I think you're going to have 3 people running. I think Herbert's also going to be running. I think you're going to see a little bit, they're going to have to. You got to keep him healthy.
And Kamani Vidal runs well. I mean, it's not like Hampton is getting all the carries. I think we're going to see in the future running back by committee across the league because Detroit's made it very successful, and so have a couple other teams. I think San Diego's going to do it as well.
Greg, don't they have a quarterback or a coach there that likes to run the ball a lot too? He used to do it.
He did in his college days. Yes, he did. But then he had Hassan Haskins, who he still has, Haskins. And he had this kid named Corum who looked really good last week when they finally gave him some opportunities. I'd like to see if we have time, we're going to ask that Corum question. From Steve Potter, Matthew Stafford versus Detroit, Josh Allen at New England, Drake May versus Buffalo. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm assuming this is the DFS question, Daily Fantasy Sports, because I can't imagine any team having those three quarterbacks. It's just too good. But that said, all three quarterbacks are expected to be in shootouts this week. Two of them against each other. May and Allen are going to be playing against each other. Most will tell you Josh Allen is the play here, and I can't really argue against him. I expect him to have a very good game against New England, with one issue potentially being weather conditions. That's the only thing I'm concerned about in that game. On the other hand, I suspect Stafford is going to have a huge game against my Lions. All right. I hate to say that, but Detroit's pass defense hasn't been the strongest this year. So if it were me, and you got to understand, I love Stafford from his days in Detroit. I think he's one of the toughest son of a guns that plays the position. He played in the Detroit playoff game with a separated shoulder on his non-throwing arm and threw a touchdown pass that won the game. So I love Matt Stafford. I'm going with Stafford here. Rick, you're next.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was looking at that potential revenge game, and Stafford has great wide receivers. I still think you have to go with Josh Allen. If you've got Josh Allen on your team, you're starting him every week, and he gets you points in the air. He gets you points on the ground. I would go with Josh Allen.
All right, JC, break the tie.
I think I have to go Josh Allen here, just because. Let's just tell you, I went really hard on Joe Burrow this year. I drafted him over Josh Allen in a league, and I'll tell you right now, it really bit me in the ass. So I'm not going to pass on Josh Allen here. I think it's going to be a shootout. I mean, Stafford's been lights out, man. I feel like he's like a fine wine. He's just getting better and better with age. He's been really fun to watch.
All right, 2 for Allen, 1 for Stafford. You could also go Drake May. Who do you like, Jerome?
Hard to go against Josh Allen right now. I mean, he can run it, he can throw it, and it's good. Like we all said, for the past hour, it's going to be a passing game, and it's going to be a really high scoring game. So all three choices are pretty amazing. You can't go wrong with Drake May right now. You can't go wrong with Matthew Stafford. But if I had to choose one, it would be Josh Allen.
All right. Well, from that question to another Allen, from Jason Allen, pick one as my wide receiver 2. Michael Wilson at Houston, Jacoby Myers versus New York Jets, Tipp McMillan at New Orleans Saints, Wan'Dale Robinson versus Washington, or Emeka Egbuka versus Atlanta. Go with you first, Jerome.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him.
Even though it's going to be a hard game against Houston, Michael Wilson would be my choice of all of those guys.
Right. What about you, JC?
What was the choices real quick again? Just the names.
Okay, it's Michael Wilson at Houston, Jacoby Myers versus the New York Jets, Tipp McMillan at New Orleans Saints, Wan'Dale Robinson versus Washington, and Emeka Egbuka versus Atlanta. They're all good choices for a wide receiver too.
Tet's been just so fun to watch this year. I know it's Bryce Young has just been kind of up and down, but Tet's been he's been getting touchdowns. He's had a couple of games where he's had multi-touchdown games. I like that kind of upside in my wide receiver too. He is their wide receiver 1 on the team. I want to have that wide receiver 1 also playing.
All right, so Rick, who you got?
Yeah, I like Ted. I like Jacoby. I like Wan'Dale. I think he's going up against terrible defense against wide receivers. They give up 22 fantasy points per game, but I got to go with Michael Wilson, especially without Marvin Harrison Jr. He's been a top.
Okay, so that's 2 for Wilson, 2 for Wilson, and 1 for Ted. Wilson's outlook, to me, depends entirely on MHJ. If Harrison plays, Wilson's not going to get the targets he needs, and he's got the toughest matchup. That is a tough matchup against Houston. So I just don't want to go there. I love Tet, but his performances have been inconsistent as of late. Okay. Saints, it's not really a favorable matchup. Okay. I'm not touching Ibuka at all. So for me, it came down to Wan'Dale Robinson or Jacoby Myers. And while I expect both to be good in favorable matchups, personally, I'd try to play them both if I could. But if not, I'm going to go with Myers, who's been amazing since he got to Jacksonville. He is the wide receiver one, and the quarterback has been looking for him in the red zone. So I'm going Jacoby Myers here. So not a lot of help here, buddy, but that's it for it. I want to thank you.
There's one more. There's a new question in the chat, so we want to hit that one.
Okay, let's do that one then. Hey, Bob. Bob Hoke, Ibuka, or Myers, or Sutton, Jennings, PPR. I rank Myers ahead of Jennings and Sutton. I'm not touching Ibuka. Rick?
I always go Jennings, Myers, then Sutton.
Okay, so it's Jennings and Myers, one each. What do you go with, JC?
I'm going Myers, man. He's just been so great.
2-1. What do you got, Jerome?
It's going to be 3-1, guys. I'm going Myers also.
Yay, Myers. All right. Well, hey, we stuck around an extra 6.5 minutes. I want to thank our guests for sticking around and helping us with the mailbag. Jerome, you're welcome on anytime. JC, it's your show, baby. You can come on anytime. You know that.
What?
Thank you guys both so much. Thank you, guys. All right. Iggy, take us home.